Evening, people. Cadbury's Purple. Check it out. Haircut. You know. You know. Broken glasses, though. Anyway, ad-free music. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you. ww3. I'm going to be coming and talking to you about what it is. What is it? How are you? If you're new to this channel, press like, subscribe, press the bell button for future notifications so you get it fresh, just like chicken eggs. Beautiful. Nice to see you. Just testing this. This is a little test out for the old ad-free, royalty-free, should I say, royalty-free music. What do you think of the colour? It's cool, isn't it? Not sure about the shirt with it, though. There you go. Such is life. Are we doing all right? Nice to see you. We're going to be chatting about all sorts today. And I'm going to talk to you about what started me on my journey years ago into freedom and truth and stuff like that. Anyway, so that was royalty-free music, copyright. The things you have to do nowadays. You'd think that artists would be glad that you're playing their music, so people would go and find their stuff and maybe download and pay for their stuff. No, we don't want that again. We don't want that again. Just behave yourself. Oh, my word. How are we, people? Good evening. Nice to see you. What do you make of the Cadbury's Purple? Let's have a 5v5 if you like the Cadbury's Purple. Beautiful. And I put glitter in it as well. So I'm hoping they just won't sit square, peeps. These are lockdown glasses. We're going to be chatting about that as well. About their man that's in charge of this furlough thing. When one of my friends said to me the other day about this furlough thing, I thought it was something to do with horse racing. I said, what's all that about? He said, oh, government are issuing money now. You get furloughed out, pay up to 80% of your wages, this, that. They're now talking about extending it till October. And I wouldn't mind betting that there's a little hook, line and sinker. You sign on the dotted line, son, you sign your soul away. They're going to want it back with cheese on the top. Hello, Spike. How we doing, son? Nice to see you. They're going to want it back with cheese. You know they're going to want it back with cheese on. You got all these councils now. Apply for a grant. We'll lend you money. Yeah. Money that they stole from you in the first place. Look, these councils, right? I had a bit of a rage at one of my man years ago. Back in the day, a long time ago, as you know, I'm a working man, working my hands, and I was doing a lot for Kent Social Services on their occupational therapy side, like fitting taps, like lever taps for all old people. And I'm out there doing a nice thing, you know. I'm out there doing, these people need assistance, so we're out there, and I was earning a few quid out of it. And it was all right. So we used to play with a social services golf society, and they were all lovely people. I'm not knocking any of them in there for what they did and their livings they were coming up with. But we were walking down a fairway one day of a golf course called Red Livets, and it's down near Brands Hatch, Brands Hatch, here we go. And this guy was off to Iceland the following day. And it's a red afternoon. We're on about the 16th hole. You know, when the sun's just coming down there? It was lovely. I was having a nice time out there. And he said to me, I'm off to Iceland tomorrow, David. I went, oh, are you, love? He says, yeah. I says, what are you going to Iceland for? Get some food? Maybe get one of their prawn rings. You can't knock an Iceland prawn ring, can you? Cool. And we've all had it comfortable, haven't we, the last few years, haven't we? We've let them give us our mortgages and our food and that. We ain't taken much notice. We really haven't. But now we're having to pay attention. And I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that people are now having to pay attention. Hello, Truthy Seeker. Nice to see you. So we're walking down this fairway and he says, I'm off to Iceland tomorrow. I said, what's that for? He said, I'm off to get the £50 million back that Kent County Council invested with the Icelandic banks. My glasses broke, son. Look, me nose ain't level either, and my ears are all over the place. You can see the ears ain't level. Look. What chance have I got, people? What chance have I got? I've got no chance. I was born this way. So I said, you're off to where to get what back? Because I'm a man of the people, let me tell you. He said, I'm off to get the £50 million back that we've invested in the Iceland Bank. He says, it's a bit of a brown trouser moment. We're not sure whether we're going to get it. I went, whoa, brakes on. I said, if you got 50 million quid of the people's money, you either do one or two things. You either give it back to them or you give them a reduction in what they've got to pay to keep the roads, to keep the bits. See, this is what it's all about, right? Public sector workers was all about giving them a living to clean the roads, do the lights, do all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? But now, they invest. What are you investing in? Oh, pension funds. And I'm like, whoa. So they've got well out of control. Well out of control. And when they come and kick your door in for non-paying of council tax and all that, all it is just that you've robbed one of their boss's pension fund. That's all. That's all they're interested in now. And it's not right. So to me, it stinks a bit. You know, I'm not all up for that. And I think that, say for instance, like I was a government, and I said, you know, I'm going to clean the streets, you know, put my manifesto out there, whatever it is. And so I'll give you £10 a week, Dave, towards that. And we're going to do this. And we're going to clean the bins. We're going to make sure that there's no perverts sitting on your corners, all this and that. If you come to me and said, Dave, you know, I'll give you that £10 last week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What did you spend it on? And don't tell me they can't do this nowadays, because they got all the computers, right? If they're not surfing on the dodgy websites, you know what I'm saying? They got plenty of technology to do this. Well, I spent that £10 of yours on. £2 went to clean your bins. £1 went to cutting the grass in the local park, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? But they don't do. They go, no, just keep your mind to yourself. Don't worry about it. You just carry on as normal. Keep paying us, but don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. I think that's hugely dangerous. Oh, I'm loving that heart, that purple heart. This is Cadbury's Purple. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it's all making you want to go out and buy chocolate right now. That dairy bar milk. Ooh, get out there and buy one. That's what it's all about. Beautiful colour, isn't it? I mean, and I've stuck a little bit of glitter in it as well. So I'm hopefully, when I turn my lights on, when it's night time, when I come in and do this at the night time, hopefully it will be sparkly. The walls will start sparkling at you. Do you know what I mean? So let's have a look at what we got going on today. Because I've just touched on that guy. Oh, Dr. Fauci, at the minute, apparently is under oath. He's testifying with regards to all this coronavirus pandemic, scamdemic. And it is. One of my friends sent me a post yesterday. I touched on this one earlier. A friend weren't feeling too well. Apparently he's gone into hospital, got suspected appendicitis. It's on the paperwork, but it says tested positive for COVID-19. So they're getting the numbers up. How the hell has appendicitis got to do? So I'm not trusting these people at the moment. Call me old-fashioned, call me square, call me purple. But I just don't trust none of them. I don't trust any of these government ministers. And that's really sad for me to say, that I don't trust public servants that work in the public sector for the benefit of humanity and the people of our country. So anyway, we'll talk about World War III, all right? And someone asked me earlier what got me into who I am today. What was the trigger? Because we all have triggers, right? We all have triggers of, I'm going to find you this comment. It's quite alarming. I'm not fibbing to you. I would never do that. Let me see if I can find it. She said her friend went to hospital with this, I'm trying to find it. Oh, God. Oh, don't tell me I'm logged out of this page and all. Facebook are really clamping down on my posterior. Satan's endgame. Jason Wills, you know what, mate? You might be right. No, that's all right. Real talk. I can't find it in a minute. But yeah, she said he went in for a suspected appendicitis. Look, can you imagine how many people there are just absolutely scared right now to go into hospitals just in case they don't come out? Because there's a lot of people that are going in, guys and girls. Let me tell you, I don't come in here for scaremonger or anything like that. Also, my friend Shane, he's just messaged me said driver told mum that NHS hospitals get £6,000 for general patient. If it's recognised as COVID-19, the fee from taxpayers, it's £17,000. Well, I'll never. World War One never finished. So look, when I was a kiddie, when I was at school, one of the teachers was having a beautiful lesson where actually one that I never fell asleep in. And I've just seen my missus come back on my security cameras. Yeah, I've just got it down. Yeah, she's out there now. And they started talking about the wars, and it was a beautiful hot day, and I was kind of semi-lucid, paying attention. You know what it's like at school when you're a young one. And she said she went through what the First World War would be. She went through what the Second World War would be all about. And it's pretty much based along the predictions of Albert Pike as well. I don't know if you know about Albert Pike, senior Freemason, apparently a bit of a visionary, put out all this stuff years ago. Don't put purple t-shirts on your blend. It's lovely colour in it. I'm loving it. You wait till over night time. This is going to light right up. So anyway, she's talking about the Third World War, and she said, and this is the part that I really paid attention to. I'm thinking, why am I really paying attention to this part? Here we go. It's coming a bit closer. Why am I paying attention to this? You've got to get really close to this camera for it to be in. So she said, the Third World War, she said, no one will know they're in it. And I'm looking around the room thinking, cool, that don't sound too clever. What's all that about? She said, this is 1976-ish, long time ago. She said, the world will not know and the people will not know that it's in the Third World War. And I'm like, hang on a minute. What's that all about? And when you look at everything that's going on right now, you have to ask the question, what's it all about? What is all of this locking down, spraying the skies, 5G technology, 64 gigahertz, bad food, bad water, contamination of the water supply with all the chlorine and all the formaldehydes and all that are floating around in the vaccine. So I'll make her right. I'm actually thinking, it's pretty spot on. She gave me the old, I don't know if anyone else in my class at the time was paying attention, but I certainly did. And it was a little bit, I thought, well, at some point that's going to mean something. So I'll pay attention to what she just said. First World War, people could see what was coming at them. And the English and the people around my islands, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, they don't mind having a dust up when it comes to tanks, bullets, aeroplanes. They used to love a bit of that and still do. But we've not really been that clever about using the old noggins unless it's in what David Icke calls a post-stamp mentality. And we do pretty much live in a postage stamp mentality. There's a YouTube video up, a warning to the world before it's too late. The new world awaits. Step away from it. Step away from the lies before it's too late. And that may be right. It might just be proper. Let me try and find this thing where it's talking about. It is. We're in really dodgy times right now. We've got these so-called police and stuff. I mean, what is going on here? Enforcement of. We're definitely in the Third World War, guys. And we ought to really be paying attention. And the problem is people don't want to pay attention, do they? They're like, nah, I'm all right. I've got a bit of food on my table. My bills are paid. That's all I get from people. Well, I'm paying my bills. My bills are paid. I've got nothing to worry about. You wait till you can't pay your bills. You wait till every one of these robbers' dogs at your back door. Trust me. You wait. You wait. It's coming. You can see it coming now. And these ministers are just socialistic tyrants when a small group of people like Boris Johnson, they're a small group of people. They're not, in comparison, Boris Johnson, his cabinet, I don't know how many there are in it, but they're just a small group of people and they're bossing like a boss, and I mean proper bossing all the people of this country. And I'm not too sure that they're trying to bite off the thin edge of the wedge, in as much as what they're trying to do. Because whilst here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Here we go. HM government coronavirus self-employed income support scheme online energy checker. See if you can make a claim. Now I'm pretty sure they're going to want that back. I'm pretty sure they're going to want that back with interest and all the other bits and bobs that go with it. I'm pretty sure, because they don't do nothing for free. But what you've got to understand about all these agencies like HMRC and councils, where did they get their equity and liquidity from? You. So they're lending you or gifting you back something with a hook in the throat, which was yours in the first place. Because you've got to understand, peeps, it's all your equity that you're sending over to these people every week, every month, a couple of £100 a month. Mate, listen, it's gone beyond a joke. It's gone beyond a joke. And this is where they're getting all their authoritas from. They're using men and women with weapons now that have got no conscience. They're unconscionable. And they will fulfill whatever orders that their local council, who they work for, put out there. And it's a really, really dangerous situation that we've got going on right now. I would not be wasting my time and effort and life coming and talking to you guys like this. I wouldn't. Now, look, World War III, this what this is entitled about. You can apparently only go out on the road now if you're what they call key worker. And I question, what is a key worker? Well, it's someone that gets a piece of paper corporation that says that they're needed in the corporate world so they can access the roads. Well, what about everybody else? That's a bit like Germany in the Second World War. So we've got 1942. If you went out shopping, you could get pulled over by the SS and Hitler's henchmen, and they could check through your bags. And if you had stuff in there that they didn't think you needed, they would take them out. And that's exactly what we've got in 2020. We've got people going around doing their weekly shopping, and they're being checked by the Gestapo like police farces, and they're being, if they deem that you don't need it, they'll take it off of you. Teachers want kids sprayed with disinfectant at school gates when they return, says the Daily Mirror. Let's have a little look and see what the Daily Mirror are talking about. Spraying kids. Can you see what's gone wrong, people? Can you see where common sense has been flushed down the toilet with a couple of gallons of water? Yeah, bit whiffy common sense. We've got to flush it. Common sense is gone. Truthfully, it has. So the Daily Mirror have done a report, and this is playing up a bit. I can't get into that article, but it's saying here, teachers. This is the teachers. And I'm blessed to say that lots more people now are homeschooling. And I know that the kids are enjoying being at home with their parents and homeschooling. And I'm hoping that many parents see the merit of it and decide to stop putting their children into these state-sponsored socialistic schools where they're taught how to be, how to fight. They're taught how to not love themselves. They're taught how to bow down and be tolerant to this big totalitarian tiptoe. Many years ago, ladies and gentlemen, before we come into a world of socialism and state-controlled politics, where we had goons going around in uniforms kicking the bejesus out of us for a piece of paper, and that's all they're doing. They're kicking the Jesus out of us for a piece of paper. That's the truth. Some can handle the truth, some can't. And some people think they are a piece of paper. And we're not pieces of paper, because paper is paper. We are 3D, divine, spirit and soul. Now, people used to keep their home family Bibles, all right? Big ones. A lot of them were gold gilded. They were big. So what would happen is the families would put all their details in the Bibles of loved ones being born, loved ones passing away, what their name was, what their age was, how they were, what colour hair, what colour eyes, blah, 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 a bit about their life. And they would put them in their family Bible. And the Bibles would pass down through the lineage. That's when we had true equity and we were truly private people. Now, that's all that needs to happen. We need to get back into the private. We had an American constable the other day, an officer of the law. I think he said he was ex-military. Let's just listen to what he has to say. He's been fired from his job for speaking out and telling the truth. Let's listen to what he has to say. If it'll play.
This just goes to prove how tyrannical law enforcement are. You've got an amazing officer that believes in his oath and believes in the Constitution and believes that what people are doing is wrong. And then they're going to fire him? Oh my God. That is what our country is coming to. The good ones are fired that want to protect the people, and the tyrannical keep their jobs so that they can continue to be tyrannical. Like, this is insane. Everybody needs to help this guy out. Let him know whatever we can do. I'm going to reach out to him, and if there's something I can do for this guy, I will be doing for this guy, because this is just not right in every way, shape, and form. We need to call this police department and let them know how we really feel.
That's what they should be doing.
Hey, what's up, guys? So,
I'll just stop that. Let's go back to it.
So I just kind of wanted to.
This is the officer.
Minutes, get everybody caught up to speed on what's going on in my life. I've been getting a lot of questions,
and he's a hero. This man's a hero.
And answer some of the things that I've been receiving. I first wanted to say I'm humbled by the response that my video got. It's been viewed millions and millions of times. People all over the country have been calling me, texting me, sending me emails, comments, and the overwhelming majority of it has been positive. And so I think that's pretty cool, because my whole thought process on making that video was trying to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the public. And I've seen both sides with open arms.
He, a man in the American police force, just quite clearly said he is attempting to bridge the gap between who it is he works for and the American people. And he's being sacked for it.
Going to embrace that. And I think that's a step in the right direction. So that's pretty cool. One thing that I've seen come up over and over in the comments, and I've been in emails sent to me, is, are you going to get in trouble? What happened to you? Or is there any discipline or any discipline taking place? And so I figured I'd take a chance and give you a little synopsis of the last 3 days of my life after posting that video. So I posted the video on Tuesday, was it May 5th? And it took it took a day or two before it really started getting a lot of traction. But the next morning when I woke up on the 6th, I think it was only at a few thousand views. And I had received a message from my command saying, wow, Greg, what a powerful message. We agree with that 100%. Well done. And that was actually a relief for me, because I was like, great. I know that it's risky putting something out like that, but I felt like it was so grounded in integrity and liberty.
It was.
That no one would have an issue with it. So that was a relief. And then fast forward 3 hours later, I get another phone call from my command, and it said, hey Greg, the video's up to 400,000 views. It's time to pull the plug on this thing. And I immediately, it kind of caught me off guard, because I said, why would we want to pull the plug on something that was already acknowledged as a good and powerful message from one law enforcement officer to others? And I said, yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me. I think maybe we should embrace this message and we should share this with other officers.
This guy, so that went quick. I'm going to play you a little piece of what this guy actually did while he was in his squad car. He's got his shotgun behind him with the cage and the bit in the back for the peasants. And we'll listen to what he has to say, because he's really pumping it about respecting the Constitution, which is the same as what needs to happen in this country. We need to bring our people that work in public sector. There's only a few of them that have got out of bed, being the courts and the police. That's it. The rest is pretty hunky-dory. We know there's a lot of stuff going on in the NHS, which is nefarious, but these people have their own consciences to wrestle with, right? If you facilitate in the death and genocide of someone that's elderly or a young child that's got cancer, you might evade justice now, but trust me, your own conscionable actions will judge you in the future, and you will wrestle with the things that you've been doing. All right. Now, I've done some things in the past with jobs and stuff that didn't end well, very rarely. But I think about them and think, what could I have done to have done them differently? How could have people have dealt with me to have got a different resolve out of it? But if I was taking part in a program where I was ending people's lives, etc., I know that at some point my conscience is going to get hold of me and say, what have you done? What have you been doing? And I really would have trouble dealing with that, because it's not a nice thing to do. So let's hear what this man had to say the other day.
You know, as a police officer, I'm compelled to make this video. I've been in law enforcement for 10 years, and I'm speaking to my peers, other fellow officers, people in any kind of law enforcement position. I've seen officers nationwide enforcing tyrannical orders against the people, and I'm hoping it's the minority of officers, but I'm not sure anymore, because every time I turn on the television, every time I look to the internet, I'm seeing people arrested or cited for going to church, for traveling on the roadways, for going surfing, opening their businesses, going to the park with their families, or doing nails out of their own house, using their own house as a place of business, and having undercover agents go there and arrest them and charge them with what? With a crime? I don't know what crime people are committing by doing nails in their own house, but we're seeing this more and more and more, and we need to start looking at ourselves as officers and thinking, is what I'm doing right? Now, I want to remind you that regardless of where you stand on the coronavirus, we don't have the authority to do those things to people just because a mayor or a governor tells you otherwise.
Following orders.
I don't care if it's your sergeant or your chief of police. We don't get to violate people's constitutional rights.
Amen.
Because somebody in our chain of command tells us otherwise. It's not how this...
This is a real pivotal moment for me, right? Because this has been going on for a long time in America. And for this, Greg Anderson, and Greg, if you ever see this, mate, fair play to you. And us old little boys and girls in England, we back you 100%, because you are spot on in what you're saying here. He's saying, I don't know who's giving you the orders to violate people's rights like this. Who is giving the orders? Is it the chief constables? Is it the superintendents? Is it the sergeants? Who's giving these people the mandate and the thoughts in their head to be doing the things that they're doing? So not only these guys in America, but here in this country, whoever give the police the right to just kick our doors in for a civil matter, for non-payment of council tax, whoever give the police the right to steal our children without due process of law, without being judged by our peers, whoever give them that right to turn up with machine guns and do that? And people say to me, oh, Dave, don't worry about it, it's all right. Well, it's not all right. It's far from all right. And if we tolerate that, what have we become?
Country works. Those are de facto arrests. We're
de facto arrests. I'm going to leave that one there. This guy's name is Greg Anderson. He's an officer of law. I think they fired him. He's now been fired for daring to stand up. Now, what you've got to understand about all the people in the police and alike in public sector is that they're getting a coin for their services. They're getting a coinage from us, the people. And although they're taking a wage and they're just doing their job, what it doesn't do is it doesn't excuse their crimes against humanity, because they might have a legal right to do a thing, but they certainly don't have a lawful right to do a thing. Dave Vale, without conscious now, absolutely right, Susie Singer, and it is beautiful to see you in here tonight, Susie. Thanks for joining us. We do find ourselves in big trouble. Day 6 in Michigan. Supporters continue to gather in front of Karl Manx's barbershop to get a haircut. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, I did manage to get mine cut yesterday by my very own hairdresser stylist. I'm very fortunate that way. Whoops, slip. Oh, I did it myself. I don't want the fashion police around here. I don't want them around here. Who cut your hair? It's a crime to have your hair cut now. You can't go to the barbers. So the point is, before I kind of disappear, because I'm going to go and cook some food, it's 6:30, blah, blah, blah. Who's going to continue to tolerate this kind of behaviour where you've got a few group of men and women in this country who work for the banks? Boris Johnson works for the bankers. They all work for the behest of the banking sector. That's all they do. Because when they put their bills through Parliament, a bill has to be paid. When you go to a restaurant and you have a big steak Diane dinner with French fries because it's sophisticated, at the end of the evening after they've taken your order and served you up your delights, your culinary delights, they give you a bill, and a bill has to be paid. So every bill that they put through this Parliament has to be paid. And guess who pays the bills for these politicians to pass their stuff through Parliament? You got it, it's you guys. It didn't take long to work that one out, did it? So that is all it's about. Government extends furlough scheme until the end of October. So unbelievable, but you can guarantee that they're going to try and string this out longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. Now, what brings them to stop this? It's you. It's you and your friends and your family all coming together and telling these people in government who work for you and are mandated to you, no more. No more of this fear-mongering, scaremongering, plandemic, scamdemic. Now, I don't speak out of turn unless I've got some verified facts. Now, the first fact I want to talk about with this plandemic or scamdemic or epidemic or pandemic, whatever it is you want to call it, many, many years ago, we would never have called the plague, and a pandemic or epidemic until it was over. Until pretty much the bodies had been counted, the loss had been calculated of a country, and then it would have been recorded in history as an epidemic, a plandemic, a great war, a bad war, a short war. Whatever history writes always comes after the fact. And that's the truth. But the fact is that they've called this a pandemic before anyone ever died. And that's the con. All right. Now, I don't say stuff unless I have verified evidence and facts. In my village and the village next door to me, which is a village called Marden in Kent, out of 14,000 inhabitants, all gorgeous men and women and souls and children and elderly, we have had one death from coronavirus. We've got some country here, where's this? This could be America, that the people have turned out and the army have now turned up and are pointing weapons at the people. My good God, this could be Argentina, Armando Bronco. The army have turned up because people have come out on the streets, and the army are now pointing weapons at the people. I'm not lying. So the army, in wherever this country is now out on the street, full martial law. So what happens? Who gives them the orders to pull the trigger? Good God. I never thought I'd see scenes like this. I honestly, truthfully, never thought that I would witness scenes like that in my life. I really didn't. When we're fighting Satan's system, we have to stand up God's armor symbol. Absolutely right, Jason. I do every single day, my brother. Sing a shame, even lost their ability to blush, no shame. Absolutely. What do you make of the colour, Suze? Do you like the Cadbury's purple that we've got here? You've obviously seen the fruit and nut bars and all that. The Cadbury's purple. It's Cadbury's purple. It's really fetching. This is what it looks like with the light on. Oh, hello. Can you see the shimmering? You can't see the glitter in that, can you? Oh, that's a shame. Maybe when it gets really dark outside, because it is now up past 6.
For at least the last 100 years.
So we're seeing now in one of these countries, I will find out what country that is, that the army have now just dispersed out onto their streets with weapons of war and have just pointed it at their own people. People, you need to really be paying attention right now. You want to just put your football down for a bit, forget your beer, forget taking the dog out for a walk and getting your exercise. If you ain't paying attention right now, you might regret that one day. You might just regret the fact that you never paid attention. You just might. You just might. So, people, I will catch up with you, beautiful people, maybe later this evening or tomorrow. I am trying to build this channel slowly. It will grow. I'm very, very, very confident in that. And police will stop cars this weekend to check they are making essential journeys. What's an essential journey? What is an essential journey? What is a key worker? Define these descriptions. We're a country that has evolved on stereotypes. We've always had trigger words that emote people like there's no tomorrow. Racist, bigot. We just have. It's always been stereotypical in this country. And all that happens is when you shut down debate. You just shut down debate when you call people names. But we have these words here. Essential journey. What can someone explain to me? What is an essential journey? And what was, if I can find it, I'm going to play it. Can someone explain to me what Boris Johnson said in this message the other day? I'm going to try and find it because I've watched it a few times and I just can't make no sense of it. It is just full of double negatives. Proper. Let's see if this is it.
In Gaza, the clock is ticking.
Let's just get rid of the ads.
I've watched it maybe 4 times now.
No, it's not.
I did get really confused. As soon as the Prime Minister finished.
Confused? My word.
In order to monitor our progress, we are establishing a new COVID alert level system. The COVID alert level has...
Do you know what alert is? It's a trigger word. It's to make you sit up and pay attention. It's like, it's like pulling on a thingy and like you get sirens going around. There's a bomb coming in. That word alert is a trigger word. If you've done psychology or you know about psychology, it is to get you all to pay attention. Let's see if this where he talks about stay in but don't stay in, go out, don't go out.
5 levels, each relating to the level of threat posed by the virus. The level will be primarily determined by the R value and the number of coronavirus cases.
What's an R value? People, are these people on the same planet as me? Am I wrong here? Oh, what planet is this man? What language is he talking? I don't understand the words that these people use anymore. It's like a mental. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Let's see if he carries on.
In turn, that COVID alert level will determine the level of social distancing measures in place. And the lower the level, the fewer the measures, the higher the level, the stricter the measures.
Stricter? Is he my old school headmaster? Someone said years ago, you know, when a government fears the people, there is liberty. But when the people fear its government, there is tyranny. Kenny Mack makes a fantastic point here. Where are the vets and the football lads? Yeah, well, I can see it's a tinderbox. I think we're in a bit of a tinderbox moment at the moment, really.
So step one from this week, those who cannot work from home should now speak to their employer about going back to work. You can now spend time outdoors and exercise as often as you like.
Thank you, Boris.
You can meet one person outside of your household, outside, outdoors.
See, this is the Third World War thing I'm talking about. People will be in a war, but they won't know they're in a war because they're worried about this little virus that's killed allegedly 1 in 14,000.
Provided you stay 2 meters apart.
What's all that about?
The social distancing measures remain.
We're creatures. We like to touch each other, right? You know, you like putting your Barry White on, don't you, lads? And you know, getting a bit, you know, midweek, your missus, oh hello, say you do, don't you? What's all that about? Love purple. It's a lovely colour, isn't it? Oh, it's calming. I feel really calm right now in this studio.
Absolutely crucial to us keeping the infection rate and the number of cases down as low as we possibly can.
Stop lying about the numbers then, Boris. Let cancer patients die of cancer and record it as cancer. Let people die of heart attacks and have it recorded as a heart attack. Stop fudging the numbers. Stop committing this craziness. We know for a fact I've had 3 or 4 funeral directors come to me saying, this ain't making sense, Dave. They're all sounding the alarm, people.
So step 2, from June the 1st at the earliest, we aim, as long as the data allows it, we aim for primary schools to reopen for some pupils in smaller class sizes.
Some pupils? The inclusion of one is the exclusion of another, right?
Non-essential
help me out here, people.
To start to reopen when and where it's safe to do so. Cultural and sporting events to take place behind closed doors without crowds. And then step 3, no later than July the 4th, and again, only if the data says it is safe.
You bet there's a second wave coming, people, don't you? Oh, you know that.
We aim to allow...
That's a prediction, by the way.
...more businesses and premises to open, including potentially those offering personal care such as leisure facilities, public places and places of worship.
We should be in control of our destiny, not some dodgy politician that works for banks, right? And that's where I'm going to end this one. They should work for us. We should tell them. We should mandate and tell them what to do, not the other way round. They're telling us what to do. They're bossing us. It's just craziness, people. So we will wait and see. It is what it is. I'm not disrespectful to people at all in any way, shape or form, guys. I'm really, really not. But this to me is it's just not right, is it? It's weird, and to me it's all part of the Third World War. This is all part of the unseen hidden hand, these hidden agendas, this stealth death, quiet weapons for silent wars. And they're going about their merry business, trust me. And no one's paying attention. But I do actually believe, and I have to believe that more are paying attention. I really am. So, peeps, till next time, keep it fresh, keep it real, keep it funky. I hope you like the new colour. I shall come to you when it is night time next, when it's all dark and it gets a bit beautiful in here. It's really nice. Got a nice little feel to this room. So, people, I love you all. Stay blessed. Please share. Please tell your friends, tell your families. Get over the Dave channel. Come in here. Pour yourself a cup of tea. Have a gin and tonic, whatever you want. Bring your popcorn and we'll have a chat. Your comments, as always, are beautifully appreciated. And I'm just trying to grow on YouTube and leaving Facebook. So, till next time, I'll see you all soon.